Do you still think the Titanic sank just because it hit an iceberg? It didn't. The sinking was mainly caused by human factors. At the time, the shipping company chose to hide the truth to avoid massive compensation and public panic. It wasn't until 1985 that a probe finally located the sunken Titanic. It revealed that the bow and stern were separated by 600 meters. It didn't sink as a single piece from the iceberg collision as previously thought. This secret was not fully uncovered until today. On April 10, 1912, Southampton Dock in England was bustling with people. A 260-meter-long, 46,000-ton steel giant, carrying over 2,000 passengers, from wealthy elites to poor dreamers of America, slowly heading toward New York. But what they didn't know was that this liner had already started its countdown to death during construction. The White Star Line, responsible for building the Titanic, made the first-class cabins more spacious and luxurious by forcibly lowering the height of the watertight bulkheads at the bottom to give the wealthy a better view. They reduced the number of lifeboats from 48 to just 16. Have you ever thought? There were over 2,000 people on board, and 16 lifeboats could only hold about 1,000. Any accident would be a disaster. But that wasn't all. When constructing the bow, they didn't use high-strength steel rivets. Instead, they used poor-quality iron rivets with a lot of slag. Do you think that's all that caused the disaster? It wasn't. On the eve of Titanic's maiden voyage, surprisingly, Captain Smith replaced an experienced second officer. The second officer, in anger, took the key to a storage locker. Inside that locker was an object, the only device capable of spotting distant icebergs, a high-powered pair of binoculars. At first, people were still hopeful, thinking nothing could go wrong on calm waters. Until 11 p.m. on the night of April 14th, 2 days into the voyage, 32 kilometers away from the Titanic, the Californian sent 6 urgent iceberg warnings. But Phillips, in charge of the wireless, was busy sending private messages for profit to the wealthy. He even complained the signal was too strong and interrupted his earnings, and sent harsh messages back. So the Californian shut off its wireless in frustration, and they missed the only chance to send a distress call. At midnight on April 14th, death finally arrived. The lookouts, without binoculars, finally saw the massive dark iceberg ahead when it was less than 100 meters away. But by then, it was too late to save anything. The massive steel liner struck the iceberg violently. The poor quality rivets immediately failed, breaking one by one. Cold seawater rushed in uncontrollably. The lowered bulkheads couldn't withstand the pressure. Water kept pouring from bow to stern. The Californian nearby had already shut off its wireless, and the Carpathia, which could provide rescue, was 58 miles away. The deadliest human drama in history unfolded on deck. At 2:17 a.m., the bow had completely submerged. The entire liner tilted like a giant seesaw. The multi-ton stern was lifted high into the air. The steel keel groaned under the extreme weight, like someone was tearing a huge sheet of steel beside your ears. In less than a minute, a tremendous crash. The ship broke apart. The bow, already flooded, balanced internal and external pressure, sank like a falling leaf, taking nearly 13 minutes to settle to the seabed. But the stern section fell stern first, like a block of lead dropping vertically, crashing down at over 4 times the bow's speed. Rescue ships arrived a few hours later. Only around 700 people survived. After the tragedy, Britain launched a public inquiry, but the conclusions were absurd. The crew was found blameless. The White Star Line was found blameless, and the design was said to be fine. It wasn't until today that modern science fully revealed the chain of human errors. The Titanic's sinking wasn't just caused by the iceberg. It was the result of human arrogance, greed, and negligence combined. Those hidden truths were only uncovered today. It reminds us that every choice and responsibility can mean life or death. History neither forgives nor forgets.